I'll see men kind of in their own conglomerate with each other, and then women in their own conglomerate with each other, but I don't see the mesh.
And I'm like, why is it that these men don't approach women? And there was tons of women around.
Men are just afraid to approach you. They're just not bold enough to talk to you.
Black man saying he would never date a black woman. That is what triggers me.
Clearly it's giving you're not interested. So why must I sit here and play the cat and mouse game with you? I'm not doing that.
Is this going to be an age thing? I'm in college right now and there's not a single man talking to me.
All the men that are around the bar, but they don't talk to women. Out tonight, because you know I don't be going outside, but tonight I went out and I went to this spot called The Spot in Gwinnett. Well, it was in Duluth, and I'm watching the crowd and I'm just kind of like people watching or whatever. Why is it that all the men that are around the bar, but they don't talk to women? They just talking to one another, but they not talking to women. And it got me thinking, like, I was born in the 70s, okay? Late 70s. What happened to the days where the men would actually approach the women and talk to them? Not that I'm looking for nobody to approach me because I got a man, but I'm looking around and I'm like, why is it that these men don't approach women? And there was tons of women around, but none of them approach women to talk to them. They're just kind of like standing in the corner, they're drinking their drink, they're doing whatever, but they don't talk to women. It's like, yo, is this what it's like? Is this what it's like? That's why I exited the group chat, because I feel so out of touch with men. They don't even approach you anymore. And then I was talking to someone and I was like, yo, y'all be standing at the bar, why is it that you don't talk to women? And his response to me was that, oh, you know, most women don't like you to approach them because they don't like that and I don't want to get rejected. Yo, what happened to yo, miss, can I get your number? My name is so and so.
Who's gonna tell her?
What's your name?
Those days are over.
For the fact that you said yo, she started out with yo, miss. You approach a lady saying yo, she's probably Xing you out just from that alone. Like, that's not something men do. Yo, what? Now, you said you're from the 70s, late 70s. She's my senior. Like, that ship has sailed. And the men were telling you why. Because the ladies are downright rude. It's not that they're going to say no. Men can handle rejection. It's the downright rudeness. But you have some guys out there that still try. But look what the men are saying in the comments. Check this out. I'm so proud of men for this. Men, continue to respect yourselves. 253 other men liked it. I didn't want to go into the replies. I'm sure it would have been a lot more, right? Woman literally told men to stay away from them. Really? That's wild. She must not know, but take a look. The internet has made men look like ATMs. Men are tired of that. I'm not around to pay for your well-being. No mas, right? I'm so sorry to hear that. But men don't need any remorse. They don't need someone to feel sorry for them. What's happened is men just said, okay, we'll leave the females alone. So who's laughing now?
Wasn't me.
One question that I wanted to ask, and one thing I've noticed about like going to these specific events, is that men don't approach women like they used to. Like, I'll see men kind of in their own conglomerate with each other, and then women in their own conglomerate with each other, but I don't see the mesh. And sometimes I do, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, I'm not really seeing it. And I've been hearing a lot of discourse, even within like my girlfriends, that like they are not getting that experience of a man approaching them, and but they'll stare. And I will go to these events, and I know I look good. I don't know if I look intimidating, but they'll just stare at you the whole time, but they won't speak to you. And I just want to know from like a man's perspective, is there a reason why you guys just have decided to like not talk to women in these spaces that is kind of curated for, you know, conversation? And if any woman is also experiencing this as well too, because I just don't understand like what the gap is, or what the gap has been recently.
And they're like, oh yeah, like I just met this guy like at a coffee shop because he talked to me, or I just met this guy at the park because he talked to me, or I just met this guy in front of a freaking taxi because he talked to me.
Those days are over.
And I'm like looking around and I'm like, is this gonna be an age thing? Because baby, I'm in college right now and there's not a single man talking to me. All they do is stare and they don't say a word. So maybe like as we get older, are we gonna start talking? Like, let me know when we get to that part of life.
So now the thing that got me, what she said about Sex in the City, right? I had to do some research. So I did some research, and I gotta share my screen. I gotta show you guys this, because I was plagued. I said, well, is it still playing? Right? I was troubled. So let me show you guys this. Sex in the City still playing? It said yes. Sex in the City is no longer airing regular live reruns. It's no longer airing regular live reruns on standard cable networks, but you can still watch it on demand. The original series is available to stream on platforms like Max through its brief licensing stint on Netflix recently concluded. So it's not even playing. It's playing the reruns, right? So ladies are still catching up on the reruns. And for things that happen in the Sex in the City, is one of the reasons why I left. Like, you got to understand, when did it start playing? Like around 2024. But when was the last time that Sex in the City was actually live on the air? Because it says that it premiered in the United States and concluded on February 22nd, 2004. And it ran from 1998 to 2004. And ladies are still watching it. Ladies are still watching it. Now, how old do you think she is? In her 20s? She wants the dream to still be alive. Oh, I can go and drink mimosas in the city. She may be from New York too. In the city, and have guys come up and talk to me. Those days are over. Even Sex in the City is over.
Whole new world. Favorite YouTubers yesterday, Maya Galore, and she recently went out with her friend. I think they went to some bar to like watch a football game or something, and she noticed so many men were staring at her, but none of them were bold enough to actually come over and approach her or come over and talk. I think the only guy, she said, that was bold enough to do something was like trying to summon her. So he made eye contact, and I think he was like gesturing her to come over, but she doesn't respond to that. But for the girls on here, do y'all relate to that? Do y'all ever feel like men are just afraid to approach you? Men are afraid to actually make a move? It's like, you know, they're staring, but they're just not bold enough to talk to you. Guys, I don't mind that at all. However, these are things that I do mind. I do mind the fact that if I text you and you wait 3 to 4 hours, 2 days later to hit me up or to say, hey, what's up, what's going on?
And I noticed that text messages are delayed. If I call or you call me, everything is being delayed. Clearly, it's giving you're not interested. So why must I sit here and play the cat and mouse game with you? I'm not doing that. I'm going to leave you alone, and I'm going to slide to the one who's paying me the most attention. Because we don't have time for that. We're adults. If you like me, I like you. We're going out. That's it. That's how I know things to be. But then again, dating in New York. Not for the weak.
Now, what you have to understand is in New York, a lot of games are played, right? So I say this: find that man that's for you, because there may be some men out there. It is sometimes quite harder to date in New York, just as it is in LA, but you will find your man somewhere. But from your energy, right? What a man is going to pick up from you, no offense, is you're playing games. When you talk, as soon as you spew words out your mouth, you come across like a girl that says, I want all the sixes. That's what a man's thinking when he meets you. I know it's probably not like that. And why am I saying that? Because I have cousins that are just like you, and they're married, right? So I won't hold that against you. You might have a chance, but you have to let it be known. Tell a man that. But then you could be dealing with a man that plays games and they're corrupted by the females that play games. So we have that never-ending cycle. And that's where we're at today. But let's move on.
I really want to just take the time off to talk about dating in the city. Now, if you don't know what the city is Detroit, Michigan. Nothing else. I don't care what anybody said, but the city is Detroit. Okay? First of all, excuse my shirt. Just excuse my shirt. Second off, I am completely over. I ain't even gonna call it dating. I'm gonna just call it people playing in my face. That's what we gonna call it. Now, I might be a little strict, just a little bit, but I feel like you gotta be, because if you don't, they gonna play in your face, right? So I met this guy maybe like a month ago now. We gonna say at least a month ago. We were supposed to go on a date. Going on like 2 weeks ago now. Now, day of, didn't talk to him all day. No text, no call, no nothing. He texts me like 3 days later. Yeah, you already really canceled, but okay. Now, like I say, in my mind, you really already like kind of canceled. You didn't really already friend zoned yourself, because you didn't already show me that you can't keep your word. And not only can you not keep your word, you don't even have common courtesy to send a text to say, yeah, I can't make it, or yeah, we not gonna go. So this whole time, this little month, almost month we've been talking, we may have FaceTime twice, never talked on the phone, but mostly our form of communication is texting. You really already kind of X yourself out there, because I'm more of a FaceTime type of person. Like, if you gonna talk to me, you gotta FaceTime me, period. So, like I said, we'll text here and there. So yesterday, he sends me a tweet. Let me show y'all the tweet that he sent me, okay? Can y'all read that? I don't want to read it out loud, because I feel like when I tried to record this the first time, TikTok removed my sound. But read it. And I guess for me, my biggest thing is, why would you feel entitled to that type of video and we don't even talk for real? Like, you're not even a piece of man. Why would I? So I told him, let's just cut the BS and let's just be cool. Because normally I would just block somebody that send me stuff like that. He told me to go ahead and block him and I'm being weird. What?
The man, of course he was off. I'm not going to say he was right. He was off. If he didn't clap already, why would you send a female that? But I will say this. He's off. He may not be talking to females like that. I understand the problem, but what's going on is, if the man, he should have waited to shoot a shot. But sometimes, even during a conversation, a man can be placed in that zone. What's happened is men nowadays, they don't understand the limits. Some don't know the limits because they're not out there talking to different females, right? To where you may have 3, 4, 5 guys in your phone right now that you're talking to. And 1 or 2 could be clapping. I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm just saying that's the temperature for the market nowadays, right? So this man probably somewhat green, probably not talking to females like that. Look what just happened to him. You're cutting him off. He's saying you're weird. The man doesn't understand what's going on. Why? Because a lot of guys are not getting the time with the females. Because I got to tell you this. You know how hard it was for him to talk to you even? Men are not speaking to females nowadays. He talked to you. And so now he's like, what do I do now? I know girls like they're about to cheek clapping. Let me say this. I can only imagine. But I understand what the man is going through.
What it's like to date as a Christian black girl who lives in the suburbs. Well, I don't really live in the suburbs, but I live I live in London, but I'm not in like the center of London. I'm like right on the outskirts. No one talks about what it's like dating for us. It is so hard. And I'm part of this like women's group in my church where it's basically a local church I go to, and literally all the women that are there are black girls. Like most of them are black girls. And I'm like, why are we not being chosen? Like, I actually don't understand. And I just find it really difficult to I just find it difficult because I'm like, why are we just being why are all these black women single? Or they were with someone and broke up. Like, what is going on?
That one right there, I'll leave that one alone. Why? She said a bunch of single black females in church. You guys already know the problem. Could you imagine the females that are in her church? A lot of times, and this is why they're single. What she doesn't realize, because she may even be like that, is they're worse the moment of the world. And rightfully so, we're all sinners. We all need the covering of the Lord, but a lot of times men want no parts. That's what's happened. Because men are saying exactly what I said in the title. They're spending that time alone. Because they finally facing the reality they laughed at. Oh, that man don't got money. He want to talk to me. Who's laughing now?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Giving men access to my social media when we are in the initial stages of talking, getting to know each other, figuring out if we're gonna date, because I just feel like the minute you give them your social media, they have this false sense of feeling like they know you, this false sense of being a part of your life. I also just feel like it's giving them way too much access to you in the initial stages of dating or communicating, where now they feel like they can make preconceived judgments based on your social media. Normalize not giving men your socials because they do not need that access to you before they have actually put in the work and taken the time to get to know you as a person. I'm not trying to have a parasocial relationship with these men. I'm trying to have a parasocial relationship with the girls.
Now, you're not trying to have a parasocial relationship with men. I understand. I understand what you're saying. Of course, you want to have your TikTok and want the girls to follow you on your TikTok, right? And that's exactly why for many years, men have asked. Girls didn't know they were being examined. That's what's happened. They had no idea they were being examined because men figure something out. Think about it, ladies. Right? I want to take a look at the comments. Then we're going to go into it. So look at this. Look at what they're saying. Also, many people have said my Insta gives baddie. Could you imagine? Cheeks out on an Insta, right? gives baddie. They think that's baddie. That's not baddie. That's bad. A man doesn't want to see your cheeks out. Look like she got a bikini on. Like, wow, drunk, right? Gives bad, but I'm actually very quirky and weird in real life. So it throws people off if they see me on socials first. Then this girl said, absolutely don't give them your social media. Create a second social media and with just 1 or 2 pictures on there to give men when they approach you on the spot instead of your phone number. The issue is a lot of females, women, give too much access too soon. He is a stranger. But I'll tell you, men need that access. Seriously, guys, when you see a girl in the street, if you don't mind approaching, ask for the Instagram. Hope that they're like, oh, okay, he's gonna follow me on Instagram, and follow them on Instagram. Scope out what's really happening. When you get a girl's phone number, you can't see the guys that are also hawking her. Only thing you can't see the comments. So if you see, as the girl said, I'm a bad, she should say baddie. But how I say it, I'm a bad woman, but I'm actually very quirky. You're a bad woman, right? Because when she's shown those pictures of the cheeks out, what do you think's happening? Men are in the comments. And do you know who's in those comments? Guys from Dubai. Yeah. Yeah. Men are not dumb. Football players. Shaq, Shaquille O'Neal can very well be in those comments. I know I'm taking it there, but that's what it is nowadays. So men have to be sure. Also, what men need to make sure of, take a look at this. This is the same girl. Watch this.
Disappointed. Okay, that's the only way I can describe it. I feel disappointed. I feel like women so often make me feel proud. So often when I'm speaking to women or a group of women, I feel inspired. I feel impressed. But when I'm speaking to men, I feel the opposite way. Disappointed, unimpressed.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you
We don't care.
You know what I mean? Uninspired. And I don't even mean this as a man-hating post, though I hear how it's coming off. This is the honest to God truth. What's that about?
You don't mean it as a man-hating post, but that was a man-hating post. I understand you're trying to make money on TikTok, but why would you say that? Talk about something else. Like, seriously. This is why men need the social media. Because that man probably saw the social media. If I saw that, I wouldn't talk to her. Seriously. Why? Men shouldn't have to deal with this. What's happened is men have started getting access and did this. That's what men are doing. It doesn't feel good. How does it feel? Yeah.
A black man saying he would never date a black woman. Being from California and Vegas, dealing with these type of men, because it is such on the regular, the mix. What is triggering for me is when, and I only hear this in my race, I only hear a black man saying he would never date a black woman. Like, he's dated a black woman, he's had a terrible experience, and he's like, I'm never dating a black woman anymore. That is what triggers me. Okay. Because you do not hear that from any other race. You do not hear a white man. You don't hear an Asian man. You don't hear a Mexican man. You might hear a Mexican man or a white man or an Asian man say like, oh, they prefer a black woman. Like, that's their preference. But you would never hear them say they would never date their own race.
I wonder why.
And I only hear that in my race of black men, and have heard that growing up, have been hearing that as an adult.
Yeah. See, You ladies take it as an insult, right? But that's not for every. Some men have a bad and sour taste in their mouth because they've tasted it and they don't like it, but mostly it's the attitude. And from how you're coming across, you may not have that attitude. So for the fact that you're internalizing it is a problem. Why is that? And this is why men get upset, right? Not at you females, but yeah, at you. I'll tell you why. Men know, and that's why men always shout to the mountaintops. It's crazy because girls always say it's all men. Why don't you say something about it? This is why it's a problem when it's said the other way around, right? Because
It's cool when they do it, problem when I do it.
you get on us for saying it's not all men when it really isn't all men. And you ladies make bad decisions and pit that on us. But this is what we're dealing with, y'all. Other than that, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Peace out. See you next video.